Quickly go through how to use the Arc-Start Point command and how to use ArrayCrv to create the steps in this plan. I just copied this from scratch and I'm going to show it on this space just for the sake of clarity. You will probably already have a lot of information already there, but I'm just going to show you on this one. So let's go ahead and lock it. Okay, so to make the U-bend, a lot of you have traced it. Using Arc-Start Point will be a lot simpler, so I want to make we'll do it for the heavy line. And so if you look here are the options for different ways you can make an arc. Start point is what we're going to use, so you will zoom in and find the edges of where your curve start. And let's go in. I'm holding down ortho to make sure it's exactly straight. So I've made that. Make sure to let go of shift so that ortho is off, and then you find your curve. And so now we have our U curve. And you can even do a rectangle from one end over to the other and see how these connect. Not perfect, but anyhow, now you can trim that line and then join it and then offset it, and you have your base exterior walls. So these connected again and join. So, and then we're going to offset them. Let's just offset them by 8, which is our exterior wall height. And really quickly, look, we already have that done. Okay, so that's how you use Arc-Start Point, and it's helpful in this project to get the nice U-bend that can be troublesome. So now that we have the U-bend made, we need to make these steps, and if you notice, they are offset from the U-bend and then they straighten and flatten out to continue in front of the entrance condition. So we need to kind of replicate this U-bend and then connect it to a straight line. So to do that, I'm going to literally just do ArrayCrv again, or I mean Arc-Start Point. I can also just hit S. See how S is underlined, and that will do the selection for me. So make the same points, and again, always using the same points makes sure that you always have the same sort of arcs in there. So now that I have that second lighter line, I'm going to extend it out. And so I have it here. So I already have the arc we just made selected. I'm going to hold down the shift key to select the line we just created, and I'm going to trim. So I'm going to hit trim here, and it's going to ask me which curve I want to trim, and I want to trim the green one because that's what we're going to be using to make our steps. So we've got that, and press escape to end our command, and you'll see that we now only have the green line, or the blue line here. So we'll select this green curve that goes to here, and then this green line that flattens out, and we're going to join them. So turn off picture, let's turn off blue. You see we just created this curve that's one line. Let's turn these back on. And so now we are going to need to offset. So we're going to select our curve and offset. Oops, yes, this curve, offset. And these steps, I believe, are 10 inches off the edge of the building. Okay. And then we're going to offset it again. I think the steps are 6 inches. If you're not sure, you can just try it until it seems about right. And maybe this is 7. You do you. 7 seems right, 6 seems right. The image is blurry enough that either of them are pretty close. Alright, so let's do 10 again. So just make sure you use like 10 and 7 or 10 and 6. Use the same offsets for each step. So we did 7, let's do 7 again. And then since these are just paving stones, I'm going to want them on the lights layer because they're not step edges. So we're going to put that there. Now to make the paving stones, we're going to create the line using the light layer, and we're going to put it right here. Okay, so now this is where we use ArrayCrv, and we're going to select our path. So we could really use either. I'm going to select this one. It just means this is where it's going to follow. I individually counted how many there were. I think the inner one has 34. Just make sure it reasonably matches up. Kind of does here. You could also try and play with distance, but let's just do 34 and keep it simple. You hit return or enter to close the command, and then you repeat it. So you create your line in between these two. Try, if you hold it and line it up, you can get the smart guide. So ArrayCrv, select your path, and because this is a larger curve, because it's offset, you will probably want 35. How many was on this one? So you want them to line up. Okay, I'm going to redo. Yeah, so I would redo that because I liked a different one. So array. Once you know how to do it, it really is quick. So I do 134. Okay. Now I'm going to do ArrayCrv line. Sorry. All right. That's why you shouldn't rush. Alright, and then this, what do we want? 35. So now, if you do 34 and 35, you see they more or less line up. And then for this final line, I would just explode it. And you'll see that these two that we had joined earlier have become separate again. Or you could split it. Either way, I'm just going to select the green one and delete it. So now there's just this blue curve. And for these, you could array it, or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll just teach you another one. So we forgot to offset this. Now let's trim. All right. So array linear. So what do we say, 11? And again, you could also theoretically just copy and paste it. That doesn't actually look good. Let's put this so it lines up with this one. Now let's do table. And look at it there. Now these line up. I noticed also I did that very quickly and it was fast and loose. I created this, so I would probably redo that again, but this is just a tutorial to show how to use commands. If you look at this array, we accidentally have some loose ones here. Make sure you clean those up. But yeah, hopefully that'll give you the gist of it. Yeah, make sure when you draw your line you don't overextend it. So once you're here, you'll have to trim this up. Ooh, what's going on with that? Okay, let me know if you have any questions.